Look at this. Special constables right here. As soon as I leave work, there, right there. You can see them. There's another one here, you can see. As well, second one there. Two special constable vehicles. Just happened to be leaving the train station with no one there as I'm just leaving, as I'm heading there to go home from work. You can see that there. Haven't seen those creeps in a while, but there they are. And again, timed methodically, as usual. They really want me to stop calling V2K a hoax and fake. So they'll send people to try and convince me that it's true by kind of being friendly and saying, hey, oh no, you got it all wrong about V2K. No, I don't. Okay. No, I don't. And no one else is really exposing that. Very few are exposing it because almost all of them are controlled. You'd think that's glaringly obvious, okay? That psyop is glaringly obvious. When they're going around, when you know that one of the outcomes, potential outcomes that they want to have is, you know, obviously they want target to either commit suicide or be incarcerated, or they want to get a wrongful diagnosis with one of their fraud mental health people. So that's a big thing, is to try and get that diagnosis for the person. And then they have this thing that comes out where they're telling you about this stuff that puts voices into your head. The symptoms of this are exactly identical with schizophrenia, and then they have all these shills going around talking about it, so that you'll talk about it, so that you'll believe it's real, and then you'll talk about this crap, and then you'll just help them to label you as schizophrenic. Anyone can see that. It's elementary, okay? So the people who push that mostly are, there's maybe some of them who have been deceived into believing it's real, but they're mostly frauds, and they want to destroy people who are really being targeted. And that's why they're promoting that. They're psychopaths, they have no conscience. And anyone you see on YouTube, they're just a bunch of frauds in general. They all do, most of them all do directed conversations to people who are real targets. Most of them are given scripts and things to say. Some of them will try and make it a little bit more natural, but they're just frauds. So I don't really deal with any of them. Even the ones who they try to make credible will still have like Masonic, something relating to Masonry, where they'll be like filming, showing you pictures of cats continually. Far more often for it to be something that they're just randomly doing, right? Because they do that because if they have somebody who's credible, they want to deceive you, but they also still want to let the controllers know and let the people putting money into it know that this is one of their people. And they can't do that through words, right? That's the way they operate. They're not going to do it through words. They're not going to admit to any of that. And that goes back to Masonry too, the code of silence, right? That's why they want people. That's why the program is interwoven with that, because it's a code of silence, and it's just literally it's a way of killing people while having these people that are involved in it keep their mouths shut. And they use materialism to get them to do it. It's a very, very clever strategy. Again, they don't have to use, I mean, as coercion is used to some extent, but I don't think there's like a threat of violence against those people if they don't do it. They don't have to do it, but you know, you don't want to, you get some of those people probably used to a certain lifestyle, right? And the sacrifice that they would have to make to either not do it or to speak out against it is far more than they would want to risk, or it's not something that they would want to do. It takes courage to do that. And the thing is, most of the real whistleblowers, they don't show you these people. They're not going to let those real whistleblowers have any sort of a major dissemination of what they're talking about on YouTube or any of these platforms. They're just going to give you their own fake opposition people who they claim are whistleblowers. And then they're going to, oftentimes what they'll do is, then they'll say, oh, this person just turned up dead, or whatever, to try and intimidate you out of speaking the truth. They do that with their truth or shills. The ones who really put out, you know, mostly accurate truth. The ones who really speak truth, like they tell you that guy Matthew North, they turned up dead. He's not dead at all, that guy. Jeff C., who was one of their truth speakers, who spoke a lot of truth as well. He was quite believable. But then they tell you he turned up dead. I mean, yeah, sure. Now, if I didn't already know and look into the fact that that guy was... There's some suspicious things with him already anyway, but that's what they do, right? And then oftentimes what they'll do is they'll give that person another project. So they'll just let them do something else, which will involve, you know, some other type of deceit, because it's all done through deceit and acting. And actors play such a major role in this whole thing. Even people, not necessarily professional actors, but just using people as actors for deception purposes. This is what the whole thing is based around. But when you bring that up, they're told to kind of just, you know, mock it and ridicule it. But the people involved in it, no, that's what they're doing. The police are doing that. That's what they did the other day with an actor. That's who that person was. Now, I'm not saying she was like from a professional acting studio or anything like that. But that's, you could tell that she was doing like a voice impression of the Wicked Witch of the West that was bang on. That was, so, yeah, so they have people who are going to do it because they knew that I would know what that was all about, because I had looked at something with that Wizard of Oz recently. So they were doing that to, you know, as mockery. And the things she was saying, some of the things she was saying, I listened to it again towards the end. Oh, here come the cops here. Here come the cops here. Here they come to stalk. Look at this. I'm just checking to see if my body camera's on here. Here they come. Again today. They showed up yesterday too. These actors here, look at them. Lights blazing and everything there. And there. Next one up. There they are. No sirens though. So 2 days in a row, the Gatineau Masonic Stalker police showing up there. Passing me by. You can see everything else is quiet. There's no one else around here. So they're just showing up to threaten and intimidate. They'll turn the lights off as they go down there too. You can see these goofballs working hard as always. So, yesterday and today, these creeps showing up, and we'll get that out there as well. I don't okay, what's this, a fire truck or something else here? I think probably another cop car or an ambulance. That's an ambulance, is it? I think. Sorry if it's a little bit blurry, but the lens is getting wet because it's raining out here, as you can see. That's a fire truck. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this crap, eh? Oh, now look, he just turned it off there. So he turned it on just for a second there. Gets to me, he turns it off there. There we go. Yeah, turns it on there. Oh yeah, there we go. Gets to me, turns it off there. There we go. That turns it on there. Oh yeah, there we go. Got some real emergency to go to, right? Look at it. Look at everything else here. All quiet, right? Yeah, like I said, you can see when I expose them and put these videos out, they ramp it up with this stuff. And anyone who's seen the other stuff knows that there was completely illegitimate. And that's just done through threatening and intimidation. So I'm going to send a message right back and put this online today. Yeah, so anyway, what was I saying? Well, maybe they have more up here too. Maybe they're going to have an ambulance now. So yesterday as I was coming home, they had a cop car, but it was one of those painted over, those darkened cop cars. But it had the lights flashing as well as those do. You can see here, you got a guy just lingering in the parking lot here. That's a Du Cavalier here. There's another. Is that another fire truck up there? Or probably the same. I think that's the same one. So it just did a little loop around the block and came back because there was nothing. It was dealing with nothing, right? So it put on the siren just as it kind of came close, and a little ways as it passed as well. And then you can see it's going right back. The fire station is not too far up ahead there. It's a couple blocks down. Here's a surveillance role player here. And in the parking lot, you're going to see a lot of people parked here, even though everything's closed in the plaza. You see people sitting in their vehicles here, despite the fact that everything's closed. So special constables this morning, and then police and the fire department in Quebec. Special constables in Ottawa, then right as I was leaving work, and then stalker police and fire department in Quebec. Making it obvious too, because the fire truck just drove around the street and did a loop and came back. And it put on the siren to do that too. It had, because you could tell it's just noise harassment. I mean, that was the whole purpose of it. So misusing the siren as usual, as they always do. Cops do that a lot too, but when I was in Toronto, there was 1 week, this is no word of a lie, everywhere I went for 7 consecutive days, they sent fire trucks to show up, and even in different areas. So I would go to like across north of Toronto to a area called York Region, because I was going to work in that area, and they'd have a fire truck showing up there in a secluded area with hardly anyone else around. Then they'd have it parked out of the library. I would go into the library. They'd have it show up in the morning when I went in, and then again when I would come out, they'd have another fire truck showing up. Just totally wasting time, wasting resources, wasting everything basically. Just a joke, just an absolute joke, a farce. That's what those people are. And the thing is, you have to understand is that's why for years and years they've had Hollywood brainwash, try to indoctrinate and brainwash people into thinking that these people are these people are heroes. The reality of what they do is the opposite. It's the total opposite. Vast majority of what they do is that stuff. Because they have, in Toronto, they have people who they're targeting, and that's enough to occupy their day in some cases. And it's literally, some of it is just literally acting. It's just an embarrassment. So they have to, for years, because they knew some people are going to come to this realization that these people are such frauds. Not only frauds, but criminal frauds. So they had to brainwash people for years into thinking that, try to brainwash them into thinking they're heroes who do nothing but wonderful deeds and serve the community. It's just a joke. Members of the fire department are no doubt involved in distribution of hard narcotics as well. Members of the same lodges as the stalking criminal police folks. But it's also not a situation where you don't want it to become like a hobby or anything like that either. You know, like I'd prefer not to be doing it at all. Obviously, I'd prefer for none of these things to be happening, and then wouldn't have to do it. But and I know there's going to come a time, I know this for certain, where they're going to have some excuse to censor a lot of stuff online. Where it may come to a point where people who are going through this will not be able to upload material showing it. Because if enough people start putting stuff out in a credible way, they can't have that. They can have it, but it's not going to look good on these people at all, right? The thing is, most of the people putting stuff out are their own agents, right? So and they know right away if someone's real. Those agents know right away, because they're told, okay, this is a real one here. You're going to do directed conversation in all your videos towards them or whatever. Here's what we want you to say. I know most of them are phonies, right? Even the ones who try to they give them some semblance of credibility. Most of them they'll have them put something in the video to do directed conversation. Some of it's more overt, and that's part of the targeting too, because they know that some people are going to look to that as kind of like an outlet, a refuge, where you can kind of look at something, where someone who seems to be going through the same things that you are is putting stuff up. But that's what they want. They want you to look at that, and then they're going to have that person do directed conversation, put things in the video that only you know about, and talk about things like that to perp you. That's all YouTube is with this targeting stuff. And even some of the other platforms too. I mean, it's not like those are way better or anything. But YouTube is the most important one for them, because that's the one that the average Joe goes to. That's the one where the one that is the most used. And so that's why they censor that one more. But then they give you the other platforms to make you think, well, don't worry, you still got a little bit of free speech, right? But eventually those are going to get censored too. There will be excuses made, and it'll be Hegelian dialectic that will be used to do that. They'll create one of these events, we'll say. We'll just call it an event, because this is going to go on YouTube. They'll create an event and use that as an excuse, which they've been doing for quite some time now, to say, oh, look at what this person did. They'll say that some person did something violent or something like that, and it'll be one of their own people. And it won't be real. And then they'll say, okay, we need to do, now look what we have to do. We have to shut down all these sites that are hate speech sites or that are allowing free speech. Because to them, any type of free speech is hate speech in general. Especially when you have to do everything based around deception and lies, right? So I believe in the future something like that. So they're not just going to do it in a way where they say, okay, just cut it all down, shut it all down. Unless they do something with major power outages. And then like something happens, like some sort of, God forbid, large-scale false flag with a bomb or something like that. I'm not saying that's going to happen, that we know it is, but there's been a lot of predictive programming about that. God forbid. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Which would take everything down, and then you wouldn't have internet, and no one would be able to. So the thing is, in those situations, there's going to come a time when, 10 years from now, I don't know that people who are going through this stuff are going to be able to upload stuff online about it. I think that they might just completely censor the topic. Another reason why I don't use that term, gang stalking, or I try to avoid using targeted individual too. Even though, I mean, it's an accurate term, that is. But gang stalking, if you use that term, that's what they're going to do. I believe that's what they're going to do. Because they can't, they're going to be doing this to more people as the years go on. It's going to start happening to more people. And it's already becoming more mainstream where people know what this is, right? They know what that term is. But they have all their frauds and their people, these corny, talentless hack comedians who are members of Masonic lodges. They put them out to try to discredit and just make fun of it. And then it's all done with their own people. So the whole fantasy world of gang stalking that you see on YouTube is their own people. There's a few, very few. There's some few out there who are legit, but again, they get censored and whatnot, shadow banned. So do I too. Again, you see here. So the third one today. Let me put this up. Okay, so on my way up there, you see the police and the fire department, 2 police cars and a fire truck, and now right here, they're just turning right over there. Attending to nothing and doing nothing productive is all this, and stalking people, while trying to hide behind flimsy plausible deniability. That's what that's done for. So he's just going to wait there till I get down the street here, and then he'll probably pull out of the parking lot there. Yeah, look at him just sitting there. Just sitting there. Walking over there today. It'll look weird if we do. No, just sitting there doing nothing. There's no call there, there's nothing. He just pulls over because they right across from me. And see how long this takes. I just want to show you that this is what they're getting paid to do. Right here. He's attending to nothing. There's no call there. If there's a call, he would have gone in and talked to somebody or done something, right? Let's see how long he just sits there. It's all about threatening, harassment, and intimidation without having the integrity to openly say that you're doing these things. Now they got somebody coming out here. Look at this. This is a citizen operative. Notice this, yeah. Because they made the call. They know I'm filming this and standing across here. Check this out. What's this place? Probably gonna cross over here. Oh, he's going to the office. Okay. Again, you see the police have still. They've had no interaction with anyone at the hotel. They've just pulled because they've just pulled in there because I was coming by. You can see this very clearly. Again, if they had any type of call, they'd go and talk to somebody, right? They'd go and deal with some situation there. There's no situation there. He's just pulled in here, right in front of me, when I was coming home. And you saw them show up as I was going up there, too. So we're going to stay here as long as they're here. If it takes an hour, we'll take an hour then. This is what this person, I suspect this person makes over 150K a year to do this here. Nothing productive. Over here really quickly. Sitting there doing nothing. Bonjour. Good morning. I just wanted to ask you, can you tell me where is? Yeah.
You're gonna go to the south of Gatineau Boulevard.
Okay.
What is the address that you want to go?
It's off of it's near Guebarons.
To the south.
Okay.
It's gonna be the light where there's a Petro Canada. It's
just up here, the next block.
there. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking at the Google thing on my phone, and it didn't give me accurate directions.
Yeah, go
That's
to
why
the
I
south.
asked.
It's gonna be Saint Louis Grabay.
Okay.
You're gonna have a Tim Horton, a Petro Canada,
Okay.
and a mechanic garage.
Perfect.
So, there it is. You have either you go to westbound or eastbound in Saint Louis.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Take care. That's good. He knows who I am too, guaranteed. I wasn't going to say my address. Now, of course, what I asked him there, I'm going to cut the part on the video where I mentioned specific roads where I live, but I'm not going to wait that out until they go, because it's, they could sit there for doing nothing for a long time. Surveillance role player, look at this one here. Where he's standing. Looks normal, right? Look at where he's standing. It's not a bus stop. So, like I said, anytime you approach the police or talk to them, a lot of times they'll have surveillance role players ready. Now, sometimes the cops will be a little bit irritable and stuff like that. That guy wasn't. He was helpful and whatnot. But he knows who I am. I guarantee that he knows who I am, and he knows about the videos that I've posted of them for over a year and a half over a year doing these things to me. But again, they play it off cool. Some of them can play it off cool. That guy can. He could. But others, you can tell they kind of get irritated. And that's what I want. I want to see them get irritated so you can see that it's like, but he pulled the act off good there. Like, he was professional, and but he knows exactly who I am, and they were told to go there. There's no question. Look at that pharmacy over there. Look at that symbol right next to it with the serpent, the occult serpent, the caduceus. You don't find that odd that that's all over medical institutions, ambulances, and pharmacies? Not just here, worldwide. A little bit odd, right? A lot of times too, if I would have stayed there recording it for longer, they would have probably sent somebody over to kind of linger there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's this one guy who's a quote-unquote auditor, frauditor, more like it. One of these citizen operatives, police auditors, who basically work with the police. The guy who's in Quebec, there's one guy from Quebec, and he's just so obviously like paid to act like a moron. And he does things that are really stupid. Like he gets right up to the cars and starts filming the interior. Here, look at this. Look at this now. Look at this now. Face though. That's a different one too, not the same guy. It's always better when you can get images of the people involved in it. So, and then let people decide themselves. If you want to say, "Oh, it's all coincidence," fine, you can say that. Compare that car that went by.